screaming, everybody.
Because she got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And by whoa, I mean whoa! What's up, everybody? My mic was muted. We're here. Welcome to the Creative Block. As you can see, all the blockheads are here. And that's all you guys in the chat. This is the one show where it's just me and Irene.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi. What's up? My apologies.
No problem.
Bit of a lax day for everybody, as you can see, but at least I'm here and I didn't abandon Phil.
That's right. Thank
How are
you.
you?
Yeah, it was just gonna be me, but now it's me and Irene. So
Yay.
you guys know, I mean, if you've seen the show already, thank you, Michael Bancroft, for rating us with all your beautiful viewers. I think Mike's gonna jump on in a little bit once he gets settled in.
Cool.
So yeah, this is the creative blog. We talk about creative things. We are down 2 men tonight. Is that true?
Yeah, apparently. I thought it was just Narwhal, but apparently Jake is also being a flake. So
He didn't
it's just
tell
us.
us. He didn't tell us why he's missing tonight.
No, I have my suspicions, but I won't say.
Oh, you think he's got a hot date?
Maybe.
That'd be tight.
Who knows though? Who knows?
That's
Good for him.
acceptable. That's acceptable.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys being here. We talk about creative things, but yeah, like this week we're down Narwhal and we're down Jake. Maybe Jake has a hot date, so we're gonna chill out and I guess talk a little bit about some. I got loose topics. No PowerPoint this week again. Well, we had one last week, but I did a show a couple weeks ago where we didn't have. But I think
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Hot,
You didn't need to have one every week. Sometimes you need a more chill show. I think
so
I'm cool with that.
And I have a very special person, someone that is special in my life,
Oh.
And I don't have any of my things here, but here he is.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Mr. Michael Bancroft.
He's a little bit special.
I was trying to think of something witty to say when you're like, he's special in my life, but I couldn't think fast enough.
I am special. I taught Phil everything he knows about losing at poker.
Yeah.
Wait, did that actually happen? Did you try to teach him and he lost?
No, he just lost.
Yeah. Sometimes I win though. I think I won once.
It can happen.
Yeah, I do like poker. I told you that my girlfriend taught me how to play solitaire recently.
Who doesn't know how to play solitaire?
Come on.
I don't.
I'm sure Irene doesn't.
I shouldn't have admitted that, but yeah, I don't. But I don't know.
Yeah, but Irene, you're a special case. You talk about special. You don't know anything about it.
I'm very special. I'm so special. I know this, okay. Well, Bancroft, you're like the cards and gambling person. There's this game that Taiwanese people play all the time. It's called Dalao, and it's where the 2 is the biggest. Do you know that game in English, or is it just like a Chinese thing?
Well, that makes sense because in Asia, a 2 is the biggest over there. That's what
we do play high-low games where the low is the best, but no, nothing where the 2 is the biggest.
You just ran over my small penis joke, Bancroft.
Oh, I'm sorry. My earphone cut out, so I thought you'd stop talking.
Well, it wasn't a good joke because I didn't even get that.
Do you want to tell us it again?
Yeah, it is an Asian game because over there the 2 is the biggest.
That's actually really good.
It's really good.
Okay. If you guys think so, sure. Okay.
Everybody thinks so. We all laugh.
No, it's like the 2 is the biggest, and you make a bunch of combinations. It's like Tonghua Sun or all this stuff, and you have to get 5. It's like 5 cards, and it depends. It's kind of like poker where you have to just keep on trading out cards, and you have to keep a straight face and not give away what a good combination you have. And you're trying to build. You go around, and each person trades cards with the pile until you get a hand that you're satisfied with, and then everybody lays out their hand at the same time, and then whoever is the highest wins. And there's stuff like if you get all the same. If you get all hearts, and then that's really good. But if you get all hearts and they're all in order, then that's even better. Does that make sense?
It sounds like 5 cards fun.
Wasn't listening to any of that.
I'm sorry. I know Michael never listens. Michael doesn't listen to women talking. All right,
It reminds me of that time you and Twitless got into it about the magic. It was like
Mm.
You know, in The Simpsons where Homer's just like
I
in
thought
the brain.
the card
The
player.
monkey hitting the
All right.
cymbal.
Yeah, I know.
Why
No,
am
I just
being
wanted to ask what
right
Down Go Solo asked. He says, yeah, but do you squat and smoke while you're playing it? That's the
You
most
do.
important. Like, that's the vision that I've got in my head.
That's very Asian. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
do.
it's very
On smoke.
No, I also learned how to play gin rummy. You ever
Mhm.
hear of this?
I know gin. I don't know how to play it, but I know of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
so-
ladies' game
Why do you say that? But that makes total sense to me. Yeah, it seems
because
like
ladies play it.
Oh, okay. Okay. She's like, "Oh, I used to play this with my mom for hours."
Case
So
in point.
ladies play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's old ladies.
Yeah, it didn't it seemed a little complex, or I don't know. Well, it wasn't like whole
Old men play Manila. Old ladies play gin. That's how it works.
Okay.
You said Rummy 500.
Is a better game? I don't know. Yeah, I only know poker, Texas Hold'em, 5 card, and blackjack, I think. And now solitaire.
I was briefly taught to play
Solitaire is
blackjack.
good.
I forgot.
Yeah, I might start doing some solitaire with all my downtime.
It's good for when you're on the toilet, you know, and you just on your
You do it
phone.
on your lap?
Yeah. No, you do it on your phone. I don't have time to set up the cards anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll get a little phone solitaire. What about Crib? I never heard of Crib. Oh, Chris says Yu-Gi-Oh! Heard of that one. That's pretty good.
Is it
All
like
right, well-
Pokemon?
It's like Pokemon, but it's maybe cooler. I don't know.
Wait, you don't know Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, not really. I know that one looks like Link. There's a card that looks like Link, like a giant elf guy.
He looks like Link. He doesn't look like Link. What?
Yeah, Link. You know from Zelda? You
Yeah, I
probably
know.
think I'm talking about Zelda, but Zelda's a princess, you know.
No,
It's
I
a common
fucking
mistake.
know. I know who the fuck Link is, Phil. Jesus fucking Christ. Also, because everybody says Casimir looks like grown-up Link, so it's hard to miss.
There you go. Phil's a couple years from learning how to quilt. Yeah. I don't know that. There is
Well,
Dark
I'm trying to introduce the puzzles into this space. So
Phil, I have
true.
bad news for you. Now that you're 30, it's just all gonna be a blur. Before you know, you'll be quilting and living with like a million cats, like the rest of us.
No cats. No cats.
Just wait. Just you wait.
I'm good with dogs. No cats though.
Hmm.
Yeah, so what did you guys accomplish this week? We're going to talk about that first. All right. Did you guys do anything?
I do things every week.
I went to the art store in town, which was probably a mistake because it's like a child going to a candy store if you're an artist, and I spent way too much money buying useless shit, but I was very happy.
Okay.
It was great. Yeah, I'm going because I'm planning on going traditional again and all that stuff. So I'm like, ooh, let me because I want to draw this like huge poster for Fiendish 3. I want to do a canvas poster again, but this time it won't be a map. Hold on, and also yes, my camera will be on soon. But it'll be like this illustrated black and white huge wall hang. Probably like black, white, and gold. It's gonna look awesome. I have it all laid out and shit. But I'm gonna draw it traditionally, and it's gonna be like 30 something inches. It's going to be gigantic. That's what she said. But yeah,
That's cool. That's going to be cool. And people will be able to get that. Like, well, it would be like just a reproduction of it, like a print.
it'll be, I'll inverse it like the white on black covers I have for the books. I don't know about the original though. I don't know. I might hold on to it. I might sell it. We'll see. But yeah, it'll be the actual print will be on the campaign.
That's gonna be cool. What about you Bancroft? Are you going back to traditional?
No, God no. Well, everyone is having discussions about all that and eschewing, you know, the digital assets and everything. I'm running full steam into that, so I'm heading in the opposite direction. The least traditional I can do, the better frankly. But even though to that end, yeah, I've been busy. I've been knocking out pages. I sent an update out last Sunday for me where I just finished another scene. I've got 4 pages left, I think, in the book, and that's what I've been doing this week. I've been working on backgrounds. I draw in bits, so I do all the hands, or I do whatever I feel like that day,
Right.
so I can have a task done. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I can go, I did that. Have these little wins. So that's what I've been doing this week.
That's awesome. Yeah, delegating your little tasks. It's just mini goals. Everybody needs to get their goals done.
Yeah, if you're not able to achieve little goals regularly, it all just seems too hard, and it's all too easy to give up.
Yeah, too far between.
Give yourself a little win.
Yeah, I hope everybody in the chat is having a little win this week. We got Compop in the chat. Good to see you, Arthur Brown. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. Good to see you, Arthur Brown. The Uncanny Kodiak. FKA, protect your assets, Bancroft. Protect them always. Snuggy Jr. is here. Every backer of Fiendish Free gets a hand-drawn poster. That's amazing. You heard
full scale, full size.
You heard it here first, folks.
Who was that Japanese guy who died? You could just draw.
Yoko Ono.
That's not what I said.
He would have done that, Rainy. Why can't you do it?
Yes. What was his name?
Yoko Ono.
I think it was Mitsubishi.
No.
What the fuck?
What's his name? I forgot his name.
What? Who are you talking
Rest
about?
in peace, though.
It's like Dan Frager's hero.
Yeah,
he's not
Kim Jong-ji.
He's not Japanese, you guys.
Joe.
I didn't call him Japanese.
Bankrupt.
I could say something, but I won't.
It's Kim Jong-gi.
Kim Jong-gi.
No one delineates New Zealanders from Australians. We're all just.
I did, but I guess I'll stop doing that now, Bancroft.
I know the difference.
Michael?
I know the difference, but others out there, they don't care. So I just pretend like I don't either.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Yeah, who's better? The
Nice cup.
Kiwis?
I like your mug.
I like the Kiwis.
Thank you. Yeah, I got that at Bucky's in.
Oh, sweet.
In Jacksonville.
I love all the American merch you came back. You went back to Australia with. You're like, yes, I want to be in America.
Dude, I went to a Bucky's. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. I went to a Bucky's for the first time this year as well.
It's great.
Yeah,
I've never been to Bucky's.
Really cool.
Well, they're only in a certain area. Where did you go to one?
I went in Texas when I went to Austin.
Yeah. I think that's where they started, Texas.
Visit the boys. Yeah, huge and fun. And if you guys have a Twitter, follow Bucky's on Twitter because they meme the hell out of everything. They're a very funny Twitter account. Speaking of very funny.
Good screaming, everybody.
Hello there. Welcome.
Bucky Moon.
Hi.
The one and only.
What's up?
I'm only here for a little bit. I will be big timing you very soon. I'm going to be on Jack's show. Just want to let you know.
Oh, well, la-di-da.
It's like old days of Cat with Rift the Moon.
Yeah, well,
Really, Camel?
when you go on there, we'll probably end anyways. So you can get so all of our viewers could go watch you on Jack's show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of them. You guys.
Yeah,
can
because
go.
well, they've been hurting lately, the Jack show. So
No, we'll stay right here and annoy Camel.
We're all together.
This is like this week's missed episode of Late and Gay now.
Yeah, this is where you get your fix.
Yeah, put me at the top corner, Phil. You should be at the bottom. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
All right, everybody. Let's see what we got tonight. This is much better. I like this how it is.
You guys want to play some poker?
Yeah.
No, because I'll lose.
You might not.
Maybe because
A lot of
I mean,
a lot of it's luck.
maybe it's one of those games where it's like the least idea what you're doing, the better you do.
Could be.
That can happen, but
Yeah.
not usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I assume so.
Let's see what's going on here. Do the AI girls not tonight. We're not prepared for that, but I appreciate it. I wonder if we'll ever do the AI girls again. Oh no, it got you in trouble, right, Camel?
Yeah, it's not even worth it. It's
Yeah.
you know what, and I still follow it because why not? And I can't tell. I truly at this point I'm like I don't fucking know. It wouldn't even be a fun game. So
Yeah. Maybe in a couple of years we'll get back to it and just like no one will be able to discern anything.
Yeah.
no,
At the
it'll
end, it was just 50-50 guessing.
It always
It
was,
was
yeah.
ridiculous.
No, it'll turn into. And so I was on a date with this girl. Was she fake? I don't know. I have no idea.
Ugh, yeah. Some Futurama
I know
show.
for 30 years you were married to a robot and not even know it.
Ugh, yeah, that would be horrible. So I worked out today, and I'm eating a pickle because I heard that pickle juice helps you not get muscle cramps. I don't know if
Is
you
that
ever heard of this.
true?
That's what
Have
my
you
friend
tested
Nick
that?
Patera told me. So
Mm.
Oh.
eating a pickle.
Also,
I never got
not working
cramps.
out.
What I did get was indigestion really bad. And it all stopped when I followed the advice of, remember Spartan Scotsman?
Yeah,
He put me onto sauerkraut.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
And I've never had any heartburn or indigestion since.
Mm. Yeah, it's good
amazing.
for
Miracle
your
cure.
gut. Good for your gut. Awfully suggestive, Phil. Not really. I suggest you eat
Well,
pickles.
at least you didn't hold up the pickle until you were mostly done with it. Otherwise, you would have been memed.
Yeah, I'm pretty conscious of that stuff.
Unlike Jake, you're aware of these things.
Yeah, that was last
He's
week was
aware.
pretty bad.
He just doesn't
likes
care.
it. All
Is
right,
it-
tonight.
is it-
What were you saying, Camel?
is it just me or Rini? Is your mic like booming?
Is it?
Is it?
Could just
Is
be.
Now
it?
that's Rainey's voice, Camel. You just haven't
Yeah,
heard it.
it's just your regular.
Is this better? Ah, la, 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 la.
Oh, yeah. No, it might be.
The other way.
It's fine.
No, it's the voice. I guess. No, I'm sorry. I mean, it's the mic. I meant to say it's the
Hey, fuck you!
no. It's my headset. It's a new headset.
Oh, okay. It's just that
Yeah,
my
it's-
voice
it's
is
'cause it's
your
wireless.
voice is grating
It's
to my
it's like
ears.
high tech. It's high tech, and it's capturing that pitch that human ears can't normally hear.
Yeah, you know,
Trying to translate it to it.
yeah. I think it's
You know
a
how
sex thing.
when you stream, Rainy, all the dogs and cats in your neighborhood start howling. And
Yeah,
you're like, what is that?
Why?
this
Oh, I
gives
didn't
you
realize.
extra human. I'm like a dog. I hear everything.
Maybe I had a superpower all along. I didn't know. Now I know.
Do you know
That's
that's a
great.
real thing? There's a real reason why all women news presenters, they'll talk like this. Really, they lower their voice and have that cadence. It's because
Yeah.
if they didn't do that, people turn off. If they just talk how they normally
Lose
would talk,
viewers.
people don't listen to women.
No,
It's
no,
a-
that's not true because in it's about how you project. In Japan
Oh,
and in
yeah.
Asia, they don't do that. It's like if you talk like this and it doesn't sound as grating and people will listen just fine.
Yeah, but American
Because women-
you want to blow your brains out.
Have you heard them?
But if you talk like this, then nobody wants to hear you talk.
Okay, now that is actually-
So
No,
why
no,
did you
the
do
mic-
the
all right.
dishes today?
All right, the mic is actually breaking. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
When
it
you- when
didn't,
you speak
it
like
didn't
that-
even.
Right.
It didn't
no
even
joke.
register.
Like the mic is
So-
cutting out.
I know
They
that.
need to-
So you
they
see
need to
how there's
invent,
difference there. There was a difference.
the highest decibel, all Karen mic possible, so they can just pull in everything.
Well,
Super mic.
if you
The
look at it
super
from
mic.
like the scientific side of it, lower sounds are denser, and so they're going to travel farther. So like you could hear whales for miles underwater because their vocal tone is so low, and the sound is closer together and travels farther.
Yeah, that's the theoretical scientific reason behind the differences between men's and women's voices, because deeper voices are more hearable. That's not audible. Oh my gosh, English. Within a close range, it's louder, but it carries mostly within a close range. And higher voices carry. Wait, is it the opposite? Oh no, lower voices carry further, but higher voices are more attention grabbing within a small range. So it's like if someone's calling for help, a child's voice would be the most audible within close range, and then a woman's
Ooh.
voice, a man's voice. So
It's like
that's
it's basically like a knife in your ear if you're close to it. Like
Mhm.
yeah, and we're like
It's really
throw it.
impossible to ignore.
right, and the specific
My
tone that
cat.
the babies cry at, it's programmed. We're programmed to react to it, to that frequency, because we have to pay attention to it. It's all evolutionary.
I'm programmed to slam the door when I hear something that like I can't.
Okay, well, some of us are broken. That's
I'm like, no, eardrums not doing it. I'm going to this headset's great there because I can hear anything in the house. So I'm gonna test it right now. I'm gonna urinate, and I can still hear everything you guys say about me.
Make sure you mute yourself.
Yeah, let's
There
not.
you
I hope
go.
that doesn't have a mic in it.
I want you to hear. I want you to hear the flush and everything.
Jim Cox says, thankfully, some of us lose high frequency hearing.
Yeah, you can go onto YouTube right now. I mean, don't do it right now, but they have videos where it's got a little thing that goes. It starts off silent, and then it's like that, and wherever it hits, that tells you where you are. So, you can put your hand up when you start hearing it, and kids, they hear it all the way down here. So my kids, they like put their hand up here, and I'm waiting, and then I put my hand up.
Well, I don't know about you, like your generation, Mike, but when I was in high school, we had just gotten, like we were probably one of the first generations to consistently have cell phones, like in junior high and high school. And so I would get ringtones that were those super high pitched frequencies, and none of the teachers could hear them, but I'd turn it on and all the kids would be like, what the hell is that? And the teachers would be like, what are you talking about? That was like a little prank thing in school.
Oh, that's so
funny.
interesting. Huh. I think when I was in high school, that was right before everyone got cell phones. So I'm old.
Yeah, no,
guys.
we were when I was in high school, having a cell phone, or we will call it a mobile, was like, oh, you think you're so cool, that's really lame kind of thing. But then it just became everywhere.
Yeah. Joke's on you guys. Let's see. What's up? Sean is in the chat. Good to see you. We got Shelby as well saying Phil is still in high school. That's not true.
Henry says Bancroft remembers rotary phones. Yeah, of course I do. I had one up until probably the late 90s at the very least.
Really?
Like 98, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had.
Who doesn't
one.
remember them?
I remember. I mean, I grew up with a hardline corded phone in the house hanging on the wall, and I kind of missed that nostalgia of having the cord wrapping across the room or whatever.
My friend's father, he had a trucking company. He had one of a country's first ever cellular phones. It was a suitcase, and there was a big phone on top of the suitcase.
Yeah,
and you would pick it up like that. It was pretty crazy. He's even on the front cover of a magazine with the phone. It's like, this is the future.
My dad had. By the way, here's my new coffee press. I just have to show it off.
Oh yeah, how does this work?
So you put ground coffee in it first, and then you pour hot water, and then you just press it very slowly like this. Slowly press it down. So there's a filter right here. You see that's a filter, and it filters all the ground coffee downwards, and the drink part of it upwards. So slowly you just filter it down so all the flavor comes out. and you let it sit for a few minutes, and then you have coffee. Ding.
All right. There you go.
And it's pretty. I got a pretty coffee maker. I'm happy.
Are you going to drink all that coffee while you work?
Yes.
Wow.
Of course. What do you think? No, I probably won't, but I would like to. Yeah, I think that's the weird thing. I think millennials and maybe Phil, you're like, what are you? You're not a millennial, are you? What are you?
Yeah, I'm sure I am. You
Yeah,
are.
Phil is a
technically-
millennial.
Irene,
Camel and
technically-
I are like
Okay.
on the edge.
Yeah, technically,
Right.
I think we all are.
82
So
cut
we're
off
all
the middle.
millennials. We just span the whole range of millennials then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're the last generation to grow up without the internet. And I feel like this is just like a whole experiment in human psychology that will certainly turn out a disaster. Because I mean, I just think it's all kinds. Can you imagine growing up being that connected to everything and having, especially
Yeah, I'm
social
watching my
media?
kids do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
watching it.
Although they don't have
watching
social
society collapse
That's
as a
good.
result.
It's mostly
Yeah.
social media that I think is just that just like messes with kids. It's so bad. But yeah, when we were growing up, it's like we just had landlines, and if you just have to actually just agree to meet someone somewhere, and if they didn't show up, you had no idea what was going on. You have to like call their home phone and shit, and
Yeah.
you can't call
Well-
your parents' cell phone. You had to call their office phone, and it's
I mean, how
wild.
many phone numbers did you guys have memorized as a growing up?
Like
All of
10.
them.
Yeah.
All of them. My memory was so fucking good. I still remember my childhood number. I remember my mom and dad's phone number, my grandma's number, like all the landlines. You never forget.
Yeah, I remember my.
Oh, I've
best
forgotten
friend.
them instantly. But yeah, at the time I remembered quite a few.
I remember
I filled my head with new knowledge.
my best friend's.
Now I
phone
remember
number.
full Earls.
I don't think that's how it works.
We got Nefarious in the chat. What's up, Nef? Just chilling out. Good to see you.
Hi.
Yeah, and like I remember having dial-up internet, which no one will know anymore growing up. But also like when
We had that too.
when I was in school, I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace, and the MySpace was huge at the time, so I couldn't do that. The only way I had to get around that,
Oh,
by
you really missed out.
well, I got around that because I'm like,
You were spared, bro.
hey mom, I'm in a band now. Could we make a MySpace for my band? And then that's how I got onto MySpace. Was I had a band, a shitty band,
Interesting.
MySpace.
Your mom was smart. My mom had no idea what any of this stuff was. If I wanted to get in trouble as a teenager on the internet, I would have. Actually, I technically did. So my first experience being ripped off as an artist was when I was 16 and on DeviantArt, and that is really loud typing. Jesus Christ. When
Okay,
I do
Oh,
it
your
on-
keyboard is very loud.
I do it on his stream all the time. It's okay.
No,
Sorry,
fucking
There you go.
So I will never forget this. I was posting my shit on DeviantArt at 16, and this guy was like, "Oh, I like your art. Do you want to draw something for my card game?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. It's my first paid job." And I drew something. I sent it to him. And then he's like, "Okay, how do I pay you?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's a little difficult because I'm 16. I'm in Taiwan." And then he just never talked to me again. I never paid me. So I'll never forget you. I still know his name, but hard
Find him.
lessons learned. I remember his name. I have the DeviantArt. Like I post all the contacts, DMs are still there. I will never forget. You'll come for. I'll get famous and I'll come for you, motherfucker. But
Jim, Jim in the chat says most of you have probably never downloaded nudies at that. I don't know what that exact thing is there, but I can remember a whole bunch of us. There's probably 6 of us, and we were downloading just an image of this. It was just it was probably just boobs. And it was going line by line like that. And we were watching the clock because I knew my mom was coming home at some point. They were like, come on. And it was like, just going bit by bit by bit. I still remember that image too.
I,
wait, what? Like waiting for it to get down to the boobs or something?
Yeah. Because it was just like her face. And we're like, come on. And it gets to her neck.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good times.
I never dealt with that. Because I would just play computer games on a PC. But I remember going to my grandmother's, and at the time, my uncle lived with her, and finding his magazines like in between his wall and his bed went over there, which is hilarious. And a few years ago, my uncle's a electrician, I think, and one of his coworkers was watching on the Zaid Comics channel just randomly, didn't even know that we were related. And he's like, what is that? And he didn't know we had a channel either, my uncle. And he's like, those are my nephews. What's up with that? And he told my mom. It was pretty funny. So, hi, if you're watching.
What's tonight's topic?
We're talking about.
Not yet.
Hold on. What's your campaign called?
I like how I get to keep Phil's show on track too.
You're in the leader chair. We're talking about
what are we doing tonight, guys?
Moon's Hail Salad. We got 61,000. If you believe this, Camel, 61,000 in the chat right now.
61,000. Yeah, look at that. And I pulled up another $500 from last week.
Look at that.
Did that by myself. Thank you, guys. Well, and the chat,
Of course. So everybody check out Camel Moon's Hail Salad. Amazing campaign that is basically going to take you down memory lane for all of the hilarious animations that Camel's done in the past. It's been pushing this.
And it'll ship very soon. It'll ship almost as soon as I'm ready to finish the campaign up. So
awesome. Look at that. Yeah, tonight
shirts, hats, comics, puzzles, little figurines, animation cells. We sold 20 of those. This is kind of crazy.
Dude, that's awesome.
We have cereal boxes. We have big cock standees.
That's
it's really
an actual dildo.
I have it right here. You could look.
Oh, I haven't seen it
size
before.
of that.
Let me blow you
It's
up
huge.
here.
Yeah, that's massive for some people.
Yeah. This is
Amazing.
to scale. I don't know for what.
So everybody get over there. See Henry Bemis is dropping the link. I appreciate that. Yeah, tonight, since we don't have Narwhal or Jake on here, just wanted to chill out a little bit, but bring up I've been watching a lot of creative writing videos from other YouTubers and stuff.
I've been watching Schnee. Have you heard of him?
No.
He talks a lot about Arcane. It's brilliant.
You're
He talks
obsessed.
really fast.
Okay, now.
Yes. No, I do know this channel, and I showed it to my writing chat, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's like too biased." And well, one of my good friends are like, "Oh, they're too biased in favor of Arcane." I'm like, I haven't seen it, but it seems like he makes some good points.
Doesn't matter.
Does
Does that matter? If he's bringing up why something works really well,
right?
does it
Exactly.
matter? He did also did a whole video on the worst scene in the whole series and why it was bad and why how you can improve it. No, I've been loving it. I like it. He talks really fast, so he just crams all this information in. So I'm having to be watching some of these videos 2 or 3 times just to kind of absorb everything he's saying. It's good stuff.
I remember. Sorry. Of his videos, I do distinctly remember the one where he was talking about writing insanity or insane characters or psychologically disturbed characters. That was my favorite one. That actually really stuck with me. I think that was well done because I've been trying to figure out the same thing.
Yeah, he showed why Jinx worked in Arcane, but what's her face didn't work in Game of Thrones in the show.
Oh, Danny,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I've been working on a complete teardown of Ghostbusters Afterlife, where I go scene by scene and explain why it doesn't work on any level whatsoever. That'll post in probably about a week. It's about 80% done.
I've had my mind changed from videos. Usually you kind of make your mind up and then you go out and you try to find a video that's aligns with what you think and you go, yeah, I'm right, I'm smart. But then sometimes I watch something and I start off like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I've watched 3 or 4 times and I've enjoyed. And then this guy like tore it down, and I was like, damn, he's right, he's correct. I mean, that's really pretty.
Well, I had people do
egregious.
that with the old dads. You know, I had a lot of people like, oh no, this is not woke at all. And I was like, hold on. And then I made that review and I put it up, and then I had people coming out of the woodwork like, this is fucking great. I actually got 50 subs out of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sick. I'm gonna have to check out that channel, Michael. But I've been watching what actually Down Goes Solo says. Local script guy. I mentioned him last week on the show, but he's like this 24-year-old college student that had his channel blew up after he did like an analysis breakdown of one of the Avatar films. I think the first Avatar film. But he's goes over theme a lot and brings up some really good points. So, and just been ingesting that to get a different perspective on just the creative process in general.
You know what's interesting though, and I would exclude everyone from this panel because we've been in it long enough. But every now and then, like you said, this 24-year-old, I think that he even ended up getting a job as like a script doctor or something like that on sets.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, if you guys ever watch Red Letter Media, they nail it every time. They can break it down, and then they go make a movie and it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, so just because you can point it out doesn't necessarily mean that you can apply it.
Sure.
And
yeah.
And so that's definitely something to consider. It's just like, that
is so
you would hope that the application would come from experience, but sometimes it just comes from, you know, just being able to, you know, be an editor. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a writer at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I like seeing other people's perspectives and process, because I could take that and maybe pick some small things out of their routine and try them on a different story or a new story that I'm doing. And just, you know, the stuff he talks about a lot is like character development, dealing with theme. And he's very much someone that urges you to prepare and take like preparation when you're creating stories, rather than just like jumping in and feeling it out, you know, which I feel like old school comic writers, when they're doing like monthly books, they're just like kind of writing on instinct almost, or the feel of it. And that could possibly be a reason why some of just monthly books just fall through the cracks, because there's not a lot of preparation.
Well, monthly books, at least when I was reading them, there was a formula to them. Much like in the same way there's a formula to making a YouTube video or a YouTube short. You know, the contents can be different, but there's a thing you have to do. And the ones that didn't have it, it was like, oh, that was odd, that didn't work.
Sure.
And, you know, so there's a rhythm. So they just did that. And I can imagine that once you've done it 50 times, I mean, you just do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm kind of going through these other kind of like perspectives on things, and then going back and almost reverse engineering the stuff that he's saying and applying it to my characters, being like, oh, I wonder if this character already has it built in. You know, like one of the things that I really took away from his technique is each of your main characters that you interact with in a story should have a different perspective on the theme and how the theme relates to them. And it was really eye-opening, because me just applying that to characters that I'm working on right now, either it was already built in, or seeing like, oh, what's this character's perspective? I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And it feels like the character fits better in the story now. So just taking like little tips like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I use them a lot like that as well, you know, where they bring up things that are reasons why something worked in a story. And immediately I'm trying to absorb that information while I'm thinking, okay, how does this fit? How does this fit in with the Lucid?
Right.
Is there anything I can add? And it's a bit late in the game for me to kind of change anything drastically, but there are small things that you can add to just sort of enrichen moments and make things land better in the story.
I've
Definitely,
found
yeah.
that the majority of time, and I find this with comics and anything, when things fall flat, when they don't work, it's always because there was never a setup for the payoff. I would say that's 90% of the issue that I see in comics and movies, where they're just like, well, I don't understand why people didn't like this, or the story kind of went stale. It's because they didn't set it up properly. And all you have to do is like really just like at one point, I would say in sort of the late 90s, they almost started getting lazy with it. They would just have like a passing phrase of dialogue or something just to make sure that by the end they got to it. But nowadays, they might not even have that. They'll just be someone who shows up in the last scene, or they're expecting that the character that you know from another property that's already been set up in a different book or a different movie, it's totally okay for them to show up because, well, we're expecting you've seen, this array of film or whatever. And it's like, no, everything has to exist in a vacuum to some degree. Now, if it's a sequel within its own universe or whatever, I find that you get a little bit more, it's a little bit more malleable, I guess. But even then, it still kind of needs to exist in a vacuum. Like there's still a basic story structure that you have to, uphold. And I don't know if it's because the new writers are lazy or if they truly just don't know what they're doing. It's like I find it to be kind of maybe a combination of both.
Or they're under constraints that put it, make a situation where they have to pick the lesser of two evils or something. I feel like that can happen as well, especially if we were talking about TV shows and movies where they have all kinds of pressures from studios and everything that they have to sort of navigate through. But they shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case like that. But it just is. It's interesting you bring that up because that's exactly what that video I was just telling you about, where he broke down why this scene doesn't work, and his number one point was, who are these characters? We're meeting them on episode 7 for the first time ever, and we're supposed to care that they're getting a beat down. We don't. Yeah. Why didn't you introduce them in episode 1, 2, or 3, and now we see them at a later date? There was no setup for them. That's why this scene didn't work.
Yeah, and it's not always just character. I mean, it could be a magic sword that doesn't show up till the 30th page, out of a 32-page book. It's like, no, I kind of needed to know a little bit about that. Or like a world-ending device. Batman Begins low-key falls in this category because they don't introduce that microwave emitter till somewhere in like the second or third act, and it becomes the major crutch for the whole train sequence. And it's like it'd be one thing if they were talking about it a little bit earlier. And someone in the chat said, yeah, it gets a little formulaic. It's formulaic if you telegraph it, obviously. But the way that they did in Batman Begins is like the way you would do in any other movie. They just should have announced it earlier than, hey, in 20 minutes we're going to be talking about this thing again, and it's really going to make a difference.
So you brought up a point about setups. Now I bookmarked this tweet because I wanted to ask Narwhal what he meant by this, but he's not here. So Camel can put him on.
We'll just put on our crazy hats.
Yeah, we'll put on our.
He's having a social life.
So Narwhal says, writing hack: take your script, identify all the setups and payoffs, and delete the setups.
Huh. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I actually say I had a comment in this too.
Oh, did you? I didn't.
Yeah.
Feeling. Wow, let's see where the script goes. Oh, there you are.
To me, okay, let's see what he says.
We want to read this, Camel?
Yeah, sure. I said, I think the best option is to make the setup seem incidental, as not to telegraph, just like I said, a possible payoff later on. Then the payoff seems like a surprise and earned for paying attention. That's the thing. You want your audience to feel like, hey, because I'm with this and I picked up on those little nuances like early on, now it's starting, I'm being rewarded for getting to the end and being part of this experience. But where it's very basic and very obvious, where it's just like, you know, scene one, there's a magic sword and we all need to find the magic sword. And then the last scene, the magic sword kills the demon. It's like, all right, well, that's some fucking goofy, easy, lazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you do is you make it all about the characters, which is what is engaging to the readers anyways, and you put all the setups through the characters' experiences and their eyes and their conflict, and what will happen is the reader will be so engrossed in caring about the characters and following their struggle that they remember all the setups, but it doesn't feel purposeful. It just feels like we're following a character as they naturally move through this journey, and then when the payoff shows, it all makes sense and the reader has happily followed you to that point. That's how I approach it anyways.
Or he could just be, you know, when artists will flip the canvas to see if they've made a mistake, he could just be doing the writer's version of that to see if there's something different that you could do. I don't know. Who knows what Narwhal was thinking?
Yeah, I wish he was
He
here.
didn't really clarify what he said, because is he saying you should just delete it and then publish it? Or does he mean that check to see if your story works? He didn't expand on this. Explain yourself.
Yeah, I guess tonight he's out doing life drawings
of himself or
in the mirror. Yeah.
Naked.
He's collected a harem of ladies, and he's saying,
like,
"I'm going to draw."
I have to use my other hand. I didn't. This is a lot harder than I thought.
I have suspicions this is code for something else, but we'll move on from that.
Yeah, I don't know. Siegel brings up a point. I think it's about rhythm, which I kind of like that.
Well, so that it rhymes, you know.
Well, I don't think it's about rhyming. Yeah. So this tweet just stood out to me, and I'm like, what does he mean by this? But yeah, it definitely sparked a lot of. He's just laughing at people.
Yeah, maybe he's trolling. Maybe he's like, let's see what these morons have to say.
Well, no, sometimes Narwhal will just throw out ideas out like that, and I think
he might. He could be saying, "Try writing on hard mode."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too advanced for us plebs to understand. Snuggy brings up he has an interesting comment. The setup for the ring for Lord of the Rings was so obvious. Well, that is interesting because that is very obvious. So, and we know what the story is about and where it's going from the very beginning, but we're hooked even though we know where it's going because we want to see how it plays out. So I think there are different techniques and different approaches to writing, and this might be what we were talking about on one of Narwhal's shows with cold storytelling versus warm storytelling. Right? With cold storytelling, it's all about how the setups and payoffs and the actual plot points mechanically work. But with warm storytelling, you might already know where the plot is going to go, but you follow because of the characters. It's more emotionally based.
Well, also, Lord of the Rings doesn't end like I thought it would end. I mean, fucking Frodo doesn't do shit. He gets to the end of he gets to Doom Mountain, where the fuck he's going, and he doesn't do anything.
Mount Doom.
You know, it's not until there's like an earthquake or something and he drops the ring by accident. So it's it
was Gollum. It was Gollum.
Even so, he didn't throw it. Like, you expect that he's gonna get up there and he's gonna all right, see you, bitch. Yeah, but he can't.
It all
if
makes
not
sense.
for Gandalf, he might have killed Gollum.
Great.
And if he had done that, he would have kept the ring.
Yeah.
But Gandalf influenced him to have mercy on Gollum, and it was this whole lesson. And because he had mercy for this pitiful creature, that in the end, the entire mission succeeded because of his mercy. But at the same time, he couldn't have succeeded if this ring is such a powerful thing that nobody else can overcome it. And Frodo overcomes at the last minute to throw it in the fires. Then that makes him super.
You're just proving my point.
Not a normal person, and the whole story is about normal people. Any normal people can go on this great journey and achieve greatness, and Frodo is supposed to be a normal person. Why are you guys laughing? I'm a Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm liking Henry Bemis's comment. Frodo was a chump. Come on,
Frodo was a bitch. We're gonna get the job done.
Look, I have always maintained that it's Aragorn and Sam who are the heroes of that story.
But all I'm saying is that all of the setup,
they're all heroic.
I didn't read them a million times. I've only seen the movies. But
dare
like,
you?
I didn't
What?
expect that at the end, and I expected, I expected Frodo to get to be like, "All right, peace out." But no, it's like they were able to subvert my expectations, and so therefore, I still think Tolkien is a decent writer.
Right. Well, it's heroic
He's decent.
storytelling, but
He's
it's
okay.
not.
He's okay.
No, he's decent, right? But it's not. It's not predictable because it's not. Well, they win the day. It's a bittersweet ending, which is why it's complete
Right.
bullshit. When people say, "Well, Lord of the Rings is just like, oh, it's like pie in the sky. It's just because there's no like tits and stuff. It's like fairy tale storytelling. It's not. It's really not. It's dark as shit. It's very bittersweet. And if you read the books, there's a scouring the Shire and everything after that wasn't even in the movie. It gets and
You
Frodo
just
basically has
triggered Rainy
PTSD.
Camel.
He's mid.
What?
Tolkien is mid. Okay.
I agree with you, Rainy. By the way, I'm on your side.
Can we kick Campbell? Can we?
No.
We're running the
He's
show.
Opposition is good.
He's
Opposition is good.
that
He's
show. and we
merciful.
don't- He
He's
can go away.
merciful
We don't
king.
need him anymore. Goodbye.
What's up, Jeff? Yes,
I've had this exact same discussion with him as well before. After we watched the movies again, it's like, Two Towers, it's kind of crap. Like,
Well, yeah.
what
Here's
even-
the thing with
there weren't even two towers, and I was like, there are.
yeah. Where are the towers?
What's your-
I kept waiting for the towers to show up.
Campbell, what is your definition of masterful writing? I would love to know.
I like the first one. That one's good. He's got like a magic sword. So it goes back to having a magic sword. You want to be able to.
Oh, so if it's magic sword and the title says magic sword, then that's good writing
That's
for
right.
you.
I'm pretty sure
Got
he
it.
uses the sword in the second one too.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
the
pretty
second one. You know what?
magic
It's
sword.
long and it's drawn
It
out.
insists upon itself.
I'm
It
sorry
does.
that it
It's
was
just
too
like-
much for
Is that
you to pay
one?
attention to.
Wait, that's the one where Legolas and Gimli are killing all those people, right? With the elephants.
No, that's a third.
Yeah, I think that's the third
Third
one.
one.
Third one's
That's
cool.
Venus
Yeah.
Tirith.
No, and the second one,
Also,
it's- you get
read
this-
the
this
books. Read the
Smiggle.
fucking books.
No one's got time for that. Come on.
And little Pip is
They
annoying.
are long books. It took me 2
They're not.
weeks straight reading and doing nothing else to read Lord of the Rings. 2 weeks. That's a long book.
Wow.
Like nothing else.
Why are
About
you such a
10,
slow
12
reader?
hours a day.
Oh my god. Men are slower readers than women. All right?
Because
then do
I
an
actually
audiobook.
absorb it and I don't just glance over it.
Oh, okay. Do an audiobook. They're good books. Really.
No, I don't do audiobooks.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
do
not
them.
a fake geek girl. I asked for Lord of the Rings for Christmas.
The
So I
movie
can watch it again.
Yeah.
this
I'm a
year?
fan.
I'm so disappointed.
I am a fan. I like it. I play I've been playing Demon Souls. That's kind of like a fantasy thing,
What does that have to do with Lord of the Rings?
It's kind of fantasy like.
What doesn't it? It's got dragons, and a
Tolkien
castle.
is-
Wait,
Get it?
Demon
It's
Souls
the
or Dark
OG.
Souls?
Demon Souls, the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The OG Souls-like. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh
Well,
my God.
I guess we could take the banner off here.
Snuggy goes, there are no dragons in Lord of the Rings.
There are.
There
But not in
There,
the movie.
no, there weren't. It was the dragon was in The Hobbit. The dragons were not in Lord of the
Dragon
Rings.
in the Hobbit. He's he's
Fucking
guarding all the
God.
gold.
You know that the whole idea, the modern conception of what an elf and a dwarf are,
Oh my
all these things,
God.
and a goblin, and don't give you any of that. No. And what a orc and
No.
goblin, all these things are, was defined by Tolkien. You know that, right? Before Tolkien, those terms all meant different things, and they were interchangeable sometimes. But his writing was so good, he defined modern fantasy and a fantasy genre as a whole. So just gonna put
That's
that
what
out
Camel was just saying. That's why Demon Souls is sort of Tolkien-esque.
He was
Yeah,
like, "There's a
everything.
dragon," so it's just like Lord of the Rings.
No, there's
That's
a lot
literally
of
what he
stuff. It's
said.
actually a lot of. It's similar to kind of Game of Thrones. There's like White Walkers, and there's all different types of, like Goblin Kings and all this shit that you fight.
Okay,
You go to
we
all
can
different
move on.
worlds. You go to like an evil castle. Like in Lord of the Rings. Remember they go to the evil castle. It's like that.
Have you guys ever seen Wizards?
There's wizards.
Yeah, Wizards is cool. Okay.
That sounds familiar. What's Wizards?
Wizards is a 1970s animated movie by Ralph Bashki, and it's about two wizard brothers. One of them's good, the other one's evil and a Nazi, basically. And it's a mix of like World War II and Lord of the Rings, but not really Lord of the Rings. But World War II.
No, I was thinking of The Wizard, the 1989 movie.
Oh yeah, well they play Mario 3
with Fred Savage.
Not that movie.
California. California.
That's a good movie. I like that. Who was the girl in that?
It has a weird vibe to it. There's like this, I can't really put my finger on it. It's like a pedo vibe or something. There's something going on in there that's off, and I can't really.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's it's emoting that feeling. I'm saying like I kind of got that vibe from the filmmakers.
Well, I mean,
that
it's
could
made
just
in
be
Hollywood. So.
Yeah,
love Double Dragon. Yeah. How do you guys ingest media?
Do I eat it?
I buy a book and
on a pizza. I sprinkle it up.
Explain
You got
yourself.
show notes, guys. We gotta get through, okay?
I am trying to get back to reading physical books, but I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon because at this point, I don't have space and books are like decoration. So, my God, the typing. I have taken on audiobooks for prose books. For comics, I still like buying the physical books because I like comics as a physical medium. But yeah, audiobooks all the way. I can listen while I draw.
Is that what you're asking, Phil? Like,
yeah.
What are you asking?
Who's to say? Really?
It's an unusual question. How do you ingest media? It's an
I thought
unusual.
that's what you were asking, but I might have. My brain probably short circuited because Camel's typing was like a gun range.
His
If you're asking about the name change, it says I don't like audiobooks. So many people put me onto audiobooks. I can't. I don't ingest, to use your word. I don't ingest stories audibly like that. It just doesn't. It's like I may as well not listen to them. So I have to read it with my eyeballs.
Really? Yeah. No, I could do audiobooks. I could do both, but I don't have time to read like novels anymore.
Me either.
So the audio book is much better way for myself. But like I'm saying, like stuff that I want to, I don't know, like look at creatively, I feel like I have to watch it with like no distraction, just in the room with myself. You know, if I really want to do that, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
You're part of the problem, Phil. You can't just sit down and watch a movie anymore.
No,
you're that next gen.
I can't. But here's my thing too. Like if I'm watching a movie to show, like a movie I like, and I want to show someone, it irritates me if they don't pay attention to the movie. You know,
that's me.
Yeah, we talked about this on Camel Nights a few weeks ago. And it hurts my soul. It's like, I love this thing.
I'm showing you this
I
thing.
You to love this
enjoy it. That's how I felt with my wife with Ghostbusters. She was not in there. She was like, "You like this shit?" It's like, get out.
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck out.
I don't like the second one, and that's your favorite movie. And although I could go back and give it a second chance, but I remember not liking it originally. But I barely pay attention to things anymore because if I'm like, I don't have time to sit down and watch something very much. So usually I'll have my iPad with me. I'll be half drawing. If an interesting scene comes up, I might stop and have a look at that. But most of the time, I'm just listening and like glancing up like that now and then. So I'm not really, like I said, it doesn't really hit me in the way that it otherwise would, because if I'm just listening, it's like whatever.
Oh, but with movies, I don't watch movies when I draw. That's why I don't watch anything, because I can't draw. I can't do the whole glancing thing. Apparently, a lot of people do that, but audiobooks are fine. Like I can draw, not thumbnailing, but with inking specifically, I can totally pay attention while listening. So that's why I do podcasts, audiobooks. I listen to a lot of YouTube. I find like the longest YouTube channels possible, and I just listen to all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are stuff that like I don't have to look at when I'm working is best. And sometimes I'll just put music on.
That's funny. We're talking about Lord of the Rings. I listen to a lot of Lord of the Rings lore videos. They're the sort of things that I can just put on a playlist and just listen to, you know, random minute details about some place on the map or something while I draw. And that stuff is good. I can actually listen to that stuff all day.
I usually listen to my wife complain while I work. It's just never fucking ending.
Where's pasta?
She just comes in and just like, oh, so the lawn guy came over and you'll never get. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, I'm fucking working.
Here we
I
go.
don't know what would happen if you had just fixed the lawn. And...
You're right. You're right. It's on. Well,
that's actually true.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, oh, you'll never believe what fucking Tina said at work today. Like, let me guess. Let me guess. She undercut you somehow.
She's trying to destroy you.
Yeah, she's out to ruin your life. I know. Everyone. It's amazing.
Hold on. I listen to the most Joseph Pantelis, and I listen to the most boring shows. No, I listen to channels like Nick Crowley and Wendigoon. A lot of horror. A lot of like just horror stories.
I just learned who this Wendigoon guy is.
Wendigoon he's a horror channel, and he talks about all kinds of stuff, but he has he has pretty diverse content, but just anything to do with horror and mythology.
Hate him.
He'll cover cryptids. Well, too bad, because he's fantastic. Actually, I started listening to him because he does these like conspiracy theory and cryptid icebergs. He's really chill, and I love his presentation style. Oh yeah,
no, I only hate him because he started YouTube at the same time I did, and he's got like a gazillion subscribers.
Oh,
well,
yeah, better than
there's nothing, you know, you know about that. I really got into him because he did an angel tier list, and so he's a Christian. But he's not pushy about it. He's just like nerding out for like sitting there for like 3 hours, nerding about how cool angels are, how they have power levels and different tier lists. And I'm like, this is actually really awesome, and I'm totally into it. And he has this other video series where he nerds out about Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, and he just breaks it all down with all this biblical knowledge. He's like, this is so well written. These are all the literary references, and I'm like, I'm here for this. It's great.
You know what it is? And Dale says he's only 24 years old too. Yeah. When I learned about him, because he's being cancelled. I learned about him because he's being cancelled. So I went and checked him out. And it's like, this guy is just talking in front of a friggin'. He's not like, you know, that guy who does these comic book history videos, and he's put out 5 of them, and he's already got 150,000 subs or something, because they're really high-end produced stuff. So I go, oh, that makes sense. Like, he put in the effort to do all that. He can get, but if you're just a guy who turns on the camera and talks and gets millions of subs, yeah, I'm gonna hate you.
Yeah.
Well, he does
in competitive spirit. Not
okay, yeah, he does really good content though, and I think the fact that he does videos instead of streams has helped.
Yeah,
be very.
I'm just not that into horror though, so I don't think I'll watch him. But that Angel one does sound good.
It's really cool.
I do like that. I like all the different levels. Because they found out he was a Christian.
Oh.
And has he's got a wife and a kid, and they're all white.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a whole. That's how I found out about it. They're all going on.
My brain is like, why is that a problem? And I'm like, wait, of course they would have a problem. Is this currently going?
2023. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was the other day. He was trending for ages, and I was like, "What is this?" Because I like that name Wendigoon sounds kind of racist to me. So I clicked on it, obviously trying to.
No.
And
he's American. He talks about the Wendigo and all these. The Wendigo's his favorite.
Yeah, I learned that.
He's a big fan of gooning as well, which we know about from family. So.
So yeah, it was just basically he's a Christian, and you know he was talking about something Christian, and they were like, oh, he's a white Christian, he's obviously a bigot. And,
what the fuck? His channel is the most neutral shit ever. Like it's wholesome as fuck. He talks about cryptids and Crisis Comics says he said, I'm no right winger or bigot. Okay. He probably felt socially pressured to say that because my impression is he's entirely apolitical, but he's probably just a normal, sane person, right? And I know he's from I think he's from Appalachia or something. So with that kind of background, he's probably pretty base, but he's just nice. He's just too nice and he doesn't want to get involved.
I think just being a Christian is enough. Just being a white Christian
assholes
is enough.
Fuck that shit. He shouldn't have even responded or dealt with this. He definitely shouldn't have apologized, even though he probably would. Fuck those people.
So this is the script guy that I watch, and his videos are just him sitting sometimes in front of a projector screen, and then he'll randomly be outside, or he'll randomly be on a boat on the lake, or he'll set the camera up.
He looks like he's doing a manifesto.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Vaughn's long lost brother or some shit? What the fuck?
This guy's much cooler than Vaughn. Much cooler.
What is happening? And he's a writer. I don't think I've seen this channel.
Yeah, but I mean, his stuff is edited well, but to make it look like it's not there's no effort in his editing at all, which is kind of a charm of the channel too.
His name is Korn Volman.
Yeah.
It's an AI filter on his channel.
Yeah, everybody loves that. So before I don't know if Camel's gonna run off anytime soon, but I wanted to ask you guys.
No, I'll stick around for a minute. It's not gonna get interesting on there for a while.
So we talked about some of our processes a long time ago on this show and kind of how we start a story. And I know, Mike, you have your whole your Lucent world you've been working on for a really long time. And Camel, you have a few different properties. But when you start, either when you started with one of those or when you usually start a new story, do you guys usually start with characters or plot, or are you trying to build a world? Because we found that each of us kind of start a different way and kind of favor something a little more than the other.
Well, I don't write anything outside of the world that I've already built.
Sure.
So my world is already built. So to me, for instance, I have a story that I'm doing these things like what Reni's doing with the 2.5. And I've got this timeline that I've got developed, stretches back. It spans about, I think, 10,000 years or so. So I'm just like, okay, what's an interesting time and place that I think would work as a standalone story that has enough relevance to what people already know? And on top of that, does it enhance and actually progress the story in some way for them to know that, even if it's set in the past? So that's where I start, and just kind of dive in there and try and figure out, all right, what are the specifics of what happened there? Because I already know the broad brushstrokes, but I don't know obviously the specific. And then you've got to build out an actual narrative and story out of it. So that's my process, which is obviously going to be very different from someone who's creating whole new stories, whole cloth.
Sure. Yeah. That's really cool. You bring up the timeline thing, because that's something that I'm actually getting into the details of for my new project that I'm working on. Actually doing a timeline and marking that out, keeping track of things for continuity, it's helping a lot, which is cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Camel?
I find that, I low-key have a slightly different process depending on what it is that I'm trying to write. So if I'm everything follows a natural arc. And it is true of all stories. It's true of sitcoms. It's true of poems. And so I'll try to break it down into those 3 acts. Well, what's the beginning, what's the elevation, and then what's the resolve. And when you start doing that, then you could start breaking. Every act should have minimum 3 scenes, which is its own beginning, middle, and end. And then every scene should have its own 3 breakups. It's the story of, threes, like in a joke, the beginning, the middle, and then the payoff of the joke. So it's always 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And you can expand on that. You can do 5. You could do 6, but then you have to do 2, 2, 2. And once you understand that process, then it really comes down to, I kind of this is such a cop-out answer, but I kind of let the characters tell me what's happening. Because if I know what the situation is, then I say, okay, well, I know what this character, how he would act in a situation like this. What would he do here? And I always try to challenge my characters with being in really, really bad positions by having terrible, terrible villains. And when you do that, it's almost like it's like playing with action figures. You're just like, okay, this is the scenario. How are we going to get out of this scenario? It's like the 60s Batman show. Like, how is Batman going to get out of it this week?
Yeah,
and go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say I do a very similar process where I kind of envision that I'm that like evil kid just like throwing things at ants, and you know what they're gonna do. We're just like, what are you gonna do like this? Bang, like that.
Yeah, and then once you and when you do that, you can kind of decide like how smart your characters are. So if I have a really clever guy, then it's like if it's like when they were writing Batman in the JLA back in the 90s. Batman was the smartest guy in the room. Batman knew 6 issues ahead how it was going to pan out. And so they would write that into it. And they knew like, okay, he has contingencies for everything. And that's fine if you want to have the smartest character in the room. When I wrote, like the Hail Salad, well, not everyone is the smartest in that comic. So some people do things, irrationally, immediately. And, and sometimes they are a little bit more thoughtful. So like the Zach character, he was like a strategician. Like he had an idea like how to build the catapult, and he had an idea on how to break the wall, and had an idea and like what was going on with all the trolls and such. And, and then like the Kelsey character, he couldn't figure out how to get out of the room, but he could figure out like on a micro level how to work with tools and those kind of things. And then hopefully you find that everyone has their superpower, whatever it is, like the thing that they offer. And then when they work together in a good team building book, then they can all get out of it.
Yeah, but it also seems too like you go into it already knowing your characters. It seems like you have.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
a good idea.
And they don't necessarily like. Sometimes when I was younger, they were all stand-ins. It was like, this guy is Cyclops and this guy is Beast. Yeah. But as you get a little bit older, you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing that. Like, I can come up with my own stuff.
Sure.
It sounds like at least at this point, Camel and I work very similar in the way that we actually create the story. And anytime I've run into an issue, it's because I hadn't properly gotten to know the character, what motivates them, what's their kind of ultimate goal, what's their goal in this situation, what kind of person are they? If there's any part of that that's missing, and then you start to running into walls and you can't, things aren't working, things are falling flat because you don't know something about them. You as the writer, you really should.
Yeah, that's something that you see a lot in certain movies where you get to a scene and you're just like, but the character would never do that. The character's never done anything like that. Like, I don't know why, but it was because the writer picked up a property where they didn't know the characters, or they had to write themselves out of a corner that they put themselves in and didn't realize like, oh shit, well, this was kind of stupid, but we got to keep moving. So we'll just, hand wave it away and hope that people don't notice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I work similarly as well. Like all my stuff, like I love creating characters and I love finding out what their motivations are, and that is very much a driving force of all of my creativity, I think. So I think that's one of the most important parts of this stuff.
I think too, it's like it's similar because I was in film for a while. We always used to say the most important shots is the first and last. The first introduces you to this world. Like if the first shot isn't interesting, you lost me. And if the last shot isn't cool, then you don't leave me with the fun feeling. And there's a lot of times where you can watch a movie like that was your first shot. That's what you introed on. Like,
yeah.
And I think that a lot of that kind of breaks down into every aspect of storytelling. It's just make sure that it's not just some boring pablum of worthless nonsense and that it's filler. As soon as it becomes filler for you, then it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
And I've always said too that like any piece of work that I do, I should write it as though it's someone's first experience to my stuff and possibly my last piece of work. And the reason you do that is you want people to, when they see your stuff, be like, this shit's fucking good. I want to watch it again. And hopefully it's not the case, but if it is your last piece of work, make sure it was fucking good. I mean, make sure you're putting out the best stuff you can. And if that means it takes a couple extra weeks or months or whatever, then whatever.
I agree.
Black says 322. Camel is dying. I've thought that for 25 years.
That's true.
You are. We're all dying. I think I like what you said about the approaching it like it's your last piece of work. But what I like to do is I try to approach every new book as if I'm trying to convince that person that just hates me and hates everything I do to like my book. That's what I was saying. It should be. And I know I'm not there, but someday I'm gonna get there, and I want to be good enough. My goal with every book is it'll be good enough to make every person who's like, she sucks, she ain't shit, they're gonna love this because it's gonna be that good. I think that's the right approach.
Yeah, you get to the point where like, look, she's an idiot, but this is actually a really good book.
That's fine. I don't care. You can hate me. Just buy my book because it's gonna be good.
We did get a super chat here from Mr. Burger. That's Mr. Burger with 1G for $10. Said, thank God you're all right, Bancroft. Once again, I heard that you died in a grease fire. Is this true? It's a Malin miracle. John Malin's eyebrows continue to keep you safe and healthy.
Grease fire?
I need to watch some more Mr. Burger stuff.
I'm
not up with the current law. I wasn't aware that I was being burnt alive.
Very interesting. Thank you for the super chat, and keep us up to date on that storyline there, Mr. Burger. Thank you. And here is your bonk for your super chat.
It never ends. Kill me. No. Oh, fucking another one.
Thanks, Bill.
Shame them mercifully like I do.
Don't
Thanks
thank
a lot.
me. Thank Mr. Burger. We had a question here from one Jim Cox. He says, Camel Moon is selling watches? And then he says,
yeah, Jim Cox, why don't you have one? Are you a loser, Jim Cox? Is that
you can
why?
get in for $650.
Yeah, the very low price of you can scroll down a little bit here.
If you think you can get a Rolex for $750, bro, you got ripped the fuck off.
That's true. 700, 650. I mean, he could get the 650. Wow.
What brand did you say they are? They're like?
They're essentially Movados, but they're like, they're like laser etched and they're handcrafted. They're made to order. Like they're not like I can't make like 50 of them or something like that. So
wow, fancy,
very fancy. And I
did sell one.
Yeah, you sold the silver one.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a gold one. We have a gold or silver and blue.
Cobalt.
Yeah,
Check it out.
we got a lot of good stuff on the campaign. I would say it's better than the
Oh.
last campaign.
Yeah, you always want to improve.
It's one of the best campaigns I've seen. It's annoying in that I want everything. You know, you have done that. It's like a bit like what Kenneth did on Groken, where I was like, oh,
Yeah, all this. All
I
the
guess I
covers.
just have to get every friggin' cover. All right.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you there was a real life bonk. I don't know if you saw it there on the internet.
No, what was this?
People were in the street, and the guy had a plank of wood, like a 2x4, and this woman was going crazy, going up to him with a big stick thing, and he was walking back. It was full defense, and she was like, "Ah!" and he just goes donk right on her head, and actually you hit the sound, and he just falls down.
That was from a while ago. Yeah, I saw that one.
Henry Bemis says Kimmel makes good stuff, unlike that hack Tolkien.
Oh shit!
Oh,
That wannabe.
y'all are killing me today.
He couldn't even finish his story.
We need to turn this into a meme. We need to keep this going.
You know that.
No.
That wannabe writer.
Oh, save me.
the guy who thought, let me write 3 massive books when they could have just flown there in the first scene.
No, they couldn't, because I would have
Okay.
seen
We know, Rennie. We know.
Green, and oh my god, you don't understand anything. No, you don't know.
Why didn't they drive? Get in a car. Yeah. There's no traffic.
I'm quitting the show.
No, Jake's not even here. All right, now if that didn't make you quit, this might. Mr. Burger for another $10. Thank you, Mr. Burger. He says, as the king of Yee trivia, that's YouTube. I invite you and your entire panel to participate in a mega trivia contest, which will cover all things comics, DC, Marvel, Indies, and CG comics. March 20. That's coming up, guys. March 2024.
No.
What, in like 5 months?
It's on the way. So there it is. The challenge has been proclaimed. You like trivia, Camel?
No, I like making it. I don't actually like.
I love trivia. We do trivia every night at the dinner table.
Really?
Trivia is fun.
Do your kids ask you questions, or you ask them?
Both.
What are some of the questions that have been thrown out?
We do
there?
all kinds of topics. The kids, Victoria's specialty is geography, flags. You could show any flag to Victoria. 49 times out of 50, she'll be able to tell you the most obscure, ridiculous things. Cool. Clark is pretty. He's kind of through osmosis gathering a bit of information on that stuff, but he's 6, so. And I'm just general knowledge, science, history. We just do. We even have. You know what we did? We got that wheel that we got. The fake wheel that Rob hated, and we spin it around.
Oh, Rob's wheel!
Yes. Well, we didn't get Rob's, but yeah, we do that. It's good. It's good family time. I love trivia.
That's so
sweet. I enjoy it. I join a little bit of the trivia. All right, Mr. Burger, here's another bonk for you. This one's a little shorter.
Shorter? Oh, thank God. It's a Dark Souls bonk.
Thank you.
Satisfying, you know.
Whenever I send a super chat to Phil, which isn't very often, but I am a member, a paying member. So
I've noticed that too.
I've been disappointed by not getting the OG bonk. That's what I want.
I remember that.
Okay,
yeah, I love the OG bonk. Yeah, I'll remember that. But yeah, you're one of our earliest members, Bancroft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't notice these things.
I like to support the channels when I can.
I'm not a member to Camel's channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many options.
When's that Jack show starting, Camel?
It just started, actually.
supposed to
looking at
start
the
30
old
minutes
time.
ago?
Yeah, I mean it's 11:30. He sent me the link at 9 or something, and I was like, all right.
Well,
I
Jack
was supposed
show
to be
is
on
devil.
Tuesday, and he was so sick he forgot to send me the link. And then I was like, "What happened to the link?" And he was like, "I sent it to you. You never showed up." He's like, "I didn't know why you were just sitting in the chat." And I was like, "No, you didn't." And he looked. He's like, "Oh, I never hit send." I was like,
Who? Cecil?
"Yeah." Cecil sounded like he was dying though.
He's
And
out of
I
it.
think
Yeah.
I think I avoided a I think I dodged a bullet because he was like falling over and coughing, and he was just like, yeah.
You could have been there to make the show easier for him.
Yeah, it was just him and Mike Barron for like an hour, and then he ended up just dropping the show.
Aw,
They
he
both
could
went
have
to bed
invited
together,
more
I
people.
guess.
I did. I didn't watch it, but I went to watch it and it was already over. I'm like, wow, he
Yeah.
went in pretty early, so that makes sense.
And I'm sitting there in the chat. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just wait till he sends me the link. And before I knew it, he was playing the Sinatra song on the way out. It's like, guess it's over. All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
So before we go, I guess I don't know if we're going, but I wanted to tell everybody we got 60 people in the chat. If any of you were so inclined in the past 5 years to make a TikTok, I have made a TikTok and I need you all to follow me. All right. And I need ones in the chat once you follow me, and we're not ending it until I get 60 ones.
Oh, good luck with that.
So it's just Zaid Comics. You can look me up. I've been posting unboxing videos and comic stuff. I just
You can't even post your own link, bro, to your TikTok.
I mean, I guess
I gotta
could.
go
Just
look
it
for
up.
it and then follow you and then tell you I followed you.
I guess people do
Like-
use watch from their phone, huh? I'll post it. Hold on. Zaid Comics.
I will
I got-
unfortunately not be able to help because I refuse to use TikTok.
It's okay, Irene. I understand.
No, it's not. Oh, I
It
didn't. I
is
thought you meant
okay.
TikTok's. I thought you meant TikTok's okay. I'm like,
No,
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 it's
no.
not.
I-
It's my seed oils.
Wait. I just posted the wrong link.
You
Where did I
posted
post?
YouTube.
God
YouTube
damn it.
Live.
At least you didn't post the StreamYard's link. That would have been great.
We've all done that before.
I don't even know what I
Yeah.
posted, and it's not even showing up as a link for some reason. Here we go.
Am I a
Mod?
mod?
Let's find out. I'll make you a mod.
Oh, you found it. There you go.
There it is. Yeah.
No.
Leave it to the kids. Well, that's
I
not
just followed you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if I saw you on there. I'll follow you back. But yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, you know, the TikTok buzz has gone around. And so thought I'd give it a little, didgeridoo. And I've been getting, 800 views on some of these things. It's pretty cool. A little dopamine hit. I also got Core Draft in the mail. So I'll be doing an unboxing of Core
I
Draft.
didn't get mine.
Shout outs to Andy Smith. They're coming, I'm sure. Everybody's
That's
posting
his
about
thanks,
it.
Phil. I hope mine says thanks, Camel, or I'm gonna have words.
Yeah, but he forgot my second L in my name though.
What the fuck, Smith?
I'll forgive him.
What is the
How
second L stand for?
How often does that happen, Phil? People spelling your name like
It happens, It happens. What do you got there? You got black pencils?
pencil.
No. Grease
Did I posted I've been told that these are called China markers. Which I didn't
Yeah,
know
you
that
peel
they
the
were
top.
called.
Yeah.
Why are they
Oh
called
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I remember those.
Ooh,
won't
hold on.
use TikTok, but we'll use China markers. I see what's going on.
Yeah, that's totally mea culpa, mea culpa. No, that's just what they're called. But hold on, let me find the other pens that are these awesome ones that I got in Taiwan. I went to the art store. I got a bunch of awesome shit.
You went to the art. Oh yeah, you went to the art store. That's right.
Yeah, I went to the local art store and spent way too much money. So yeah, this is what I just got. Honestly, I'm itching to get back to traditional drawing, and these are actually colored pencils or black colored pencils. So what has happened was the way I've been inking Fiendish is I ink digitally, but I've been using graphite brushes to get an organic and varied line. So if you look closely at the lines on Fiendish, it's very like graphite-y, and you can see the texture to it, and it's uneven, so it doesn't look like too clean and too digital. And I'm wondering if maybe I will use these like colored pencils, which is darker than graphite and more permanent, and these for the kind of shading, and I'll just use some brush pens and brush for the dark areas. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I have a
You think
whole
it's going to
plan.
speed you up or slow you down?
I don't know. I think I'm anticipating it'll slow me down a bit, but that's why I don't have like a launch date set. I'm planning on I'm gonna just figure this out, take my time, launch when I'm ready, but I do want to do this traditionally.
Kenneth said it digital slows him down significantly.
Really?
You can do
Well,
everything
I have been
quicker
doing interesting.
digitally. Traditionally.
I'm not sure because I have been I don't know about the time. He might be right, but I've been working digitally, not just for time, but mostly for convenience, because I moved so much, or I used to move so much. I only had a Wacom companion for years, but now I have a studio, so that's why I honestly prefer drawing traditionally. So I'm going to go back to that. I also picked up these, which is very interesting. Let me show off. I posted a picture on Twitter, but I don't think I've shown. Let me show you guys now. I got these babies in Taiwan, and what they are. I was actually looking for what are they called? These Zig sign pens that are these teeny tiny brush pens, but these aren't Zig, but they're Unipin fine lines, and they're these really tiny brush pens. Look how small that brush tip is. Look at that. Like that's like look how small it is. Ignore my nails. My nails are horrible right now, but they're these teeny tiny brush pens.
We do, Trini. We don't even see nails.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But
They're invisible to
well,
us.
Oh, I'm glad. These are awesome. I have another comic artist when I recommended them to me. The lines you can get with these are amazing. And I am not Gary Martin. I don't think I'm ready for just using real brushes, but I'm going to use a lot of brush pens. So these are great. And I already use a lot of Figma FB, these brush pens. So I bought more of those in Taiwan because they're cheap as fuck in Taiwan.
What's the driving force behind going back to traditional?
I think it'll look better.
Really?
That's the main driving force. Yeah. I think my works will still looks better traditional. Digital is more convenient, but I think it'll, like what I'm thinking of, it'll turn out better. Also, I'll have originals to sell, so that's a good thing, and people have been asking for that, so I'm happy to do that. But mainly, I think the book will be better for it. It might take more time, but it'll be worth it.
They do say the pen is mightier.
And what?
Then
I don't
You
remember.
guys
On
can't
a
see,
digital
but
pen?
I am frozen.
You are frozen.
I mean,
You
or
are.
I'm really interested. So I'm going to use that as my.
You're
like,
never,
wow, look
never
at
that
those
interested.
pens.
Holy cow! I've never seen a pen like that.
Well,
Yeah.
make sure everybody backs Hail Salad and tunes into Camel on the Jack Show tonight. We'll probably raid into that here shortly.
Yeah. I have to restart this. All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll see you
See
soon.
you, Camel. Good chat.
Later.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
See ya.
There was someone. We got a little birthday boy in the chat. Maromi
Marumi.
says it's my birthday,
Oh, it's happy birthday, Maromi!
which is
Happy
amazing.
birthday, Christopher!
And
His
you
name's
get
Christopher.
one of these.
Happy birthday.
Hey, you guys are watching Bird Up.
I didn't even know you had that. That's great.
Happy birthday to our man
Happy
Maromi.
Birthday.
A
Can
good
you?
chap.
Can we sing the birthday song, or is that still copyrighted?
Well, I wouldn't prefer it,
Okay.
Let's sing it in French.
I can sing it in. Okay, teach me to sing it in French.
No, it uses the same. It uses the same melody. So if
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the issue.
I'm sure he's
Okay.
heard it enough,
Yeah, I can sing it in Chinese, but it's also the same melody. This is like a world famous song.
How crazy is that? Imagine if you're the guy who did that. Like everyone,
Yeah.
this is, 1,000 or more than that, million times a day, all over the world.
Yeah, and they're like, no, give us the copyright. Good luck.
And no one even knows you, you know? Where's
No,
that
just the
guy's
guy.
birthday cake? We got Oni in the chat, and I heard a young Von Coleman is in the chats.
Hey, it's Vaughn. Vaughn, we saw
I like
your
your
long lost
script
brother.
videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely check out Script Man.
Wait, show him the channel.
You want to see him? Let's see. Oh,
Vaughn,
here it is.
it's your long lost brother. We found
Yep.
his
This is
scripting channel.
Cool V. This is the cool Von Coleman. Not him. This guy.
There was the one video you pulled up. Legit,
The other one was more
like
Von.
him.
This guy's
The other
got
one
like
was more
tips
Von?
in his hair. Or
Let's
something.
see. I think that was.
It was that. It was that one. I think.
This-
No, it was the one where he had all the stuff in the background.
Oh, this one kind of, yeah. The fucking Windows screensaver one.
Here it is.
That one.
Yeah. The hair is the same.
What is it about that color hair that it's just it gets all curly and that's how you wear it?
Well, his is bleach. Unfortunately, Vaughn's is natural. You know.
Oh, this guy
that's
bleaches his hair.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Sure, that's bleach on him. Yeah, he has 52,000 views on this video and 135,000 subs. So we need Vaughn to get there. You could do it, Vaughn. You just need cool backgrounds and big headphones.
Has he written things?
Who's to say?
That's the funny thing. Like he's got all these subs. He's giving out all this advice. Same with the people I watch. I don't know if they've done anything.
Well, he talks about going to
to
college. He talks about going to screenwriting college and that he's worked as consultant on people's stories. So he charges people for his time.
Oh my God.
And I know he's done school films. I think that's it.
You know, that's just the thing. Sometimes I'm looking at some of these YouTubers, and not saying this guy doesn't have talent or whatever. I have no idea, but some people out there, I wish I had their confidence, and I could have just been like, yeah, I've done work for so and so, and I've been in the industry, and just talk myself up, and then I'd have 1 million views because I can just. It's almost about projecting confidence on YouTube.
You got to be a go-getter.
You can't. Well, you gotta be a go-getter, but you can't be like. It's like if you just sound like you really know what you're talking about, then that gets attention more, and that's just how it is.
Well, the guys I listen to, I agree with what they're saying. It's not as though, I can see what they're saying and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, that is a really good point. That is part of it. So, the trust comes into it by them saying things that I agree with that I wouldn't have thought of myself.
Sure.
Because
definitely.
a lot of times you just watch something and you like it, but you haven't spent hours breaking down exactly what it is, why you like it, and then putting that into a coherent video and then uploading that video with accompanying imagery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother step. So,
part of it
I guess you don't have to have been able to, you don't have to be like a celebrated screenwriter to have an opinion on this stuff. You just have to know what you're talking about.
That's true. A big part of it is just being able to articulate thoughts well. But yeah, no, I was more I wasn't like that. Probably came. I didn't mean it in like, well, it's all bullshit. As in, I think there's a certain way of presenting yourself that I'm realizing works well on YouTube, and I feel like that would behoove people like us. At least I'm trying to make it or whatever. I'm not focusing on my channel, but it's something like that extra spice that helps a lot.
Well, the biggest thing that holds back a lot of people in our corner of the internet is time. We're making books. We're producing them. We're selling them. We're shipping them. We're drawing them. We're writing them. And the YouTube is part of the marketing of that. So it's not like you know, anytime I've decided, all right, I'm going to make a go of YouTube for a few months, it's done exceedingly well. So, but then you realize, oh, I don't have time to do all of this. So you have to kind of put YouTube on the shelf again. But, you know, a lot of these guys,
Yeah.
that's what they're doing. And so I can imagine if we completely stopped doing our comics and just sunk all of that creativity and energy into a YouTube channel, I'm sure we would do very well on that as well.
He did, I don't know how long ago this was, but he did a video with his buddy and writing partner, and it was supposed to be they write a horror slasher film in 48 hours. And it's like a, I don't know, hour-long video. It ended up taking them a week because one of them was sick. But it was interesting and cool, and he utilizes a lot of the processes that he talks about during his creative process. And it was a fun video, but he was, I guess, doing it for fun but making it into content as well, which is something that, I don't know, I would find hard to do if I was actually working on a project and making it into content as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is you have to constantly remember to make content. Like for us artists, if you're drawing, you just record it and it's content. But I keep on forgetting to do it. And honestly, it's hard to stream and work or record while you're working. Even if it's just a camera there, it's kind of a distraction sometimes. So that's also a special kind of skill and focus to always be making something for YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. We got B Rose in the chat. I just got Cerebrum in the mail. I just got to go pick it up from the mail. So thank you. Shout outs to B Rose. Good to have you in the chat. We're gonna wind down, but I know there's a Alex VRB meme we're gonna take a look at. I have it queued up. But before that, we're gonna look at Fiendish 2.5, which is available now. You guys could order it.
Yes, it is available right now, and we went up more. Oh my gosh, the last time I looked at it, it was $100 less. So thank you so much, and that was just yesterday. Fiendish 2.5 is the first standalone one-shot to the Fiendish series. We follow my main character Casimir after the destruction of his hometown, and we get to see how he survives after he's left out all alone after his family is killed, how he's taken in by this wild, strange hunter, and how he meets certain characters that we all see in the main series, like Ragna and Iskall, and how he grows up in those few years, intervaling the prologue that I showed in the main series and then the proper events of the story in the Fiendish main books, where we jump into the mystery of where did these demons come from, and he's going back to his hometown to figure out how did these creatures get here. But this is, like I said, a standalone story. Is 25 pages, but if you want to understand the main books more and you would like to delve more into the characters, that is the whole point of these 0.5 chapters. If you get these, it would supplement your understanding of the main books, and I'm very proud of the story. Jake is doing a great job on colors. Michael Rushbrook is the artist. Michael Rushbrook did all the art. This is the first time I'm writing something for other people to draw. So I did this cover, but everything else is Michael Rushbrook and Jake, also known as Hyper Wizard, on the colors. So they're doing a banger job. We're doing really great on the campaign, and this is going to be a really quick turnaround. We're looking to fulfill in April because all the inks are done. We just have to color and letter it right now. So I hope you guys check it out. I'm sure you guys are going to like it, and thank you all so much. You're awesome.
Very British of you to say they're doing a banger of a job.
I know.
Oh no, yeah, I've been talking to Jake too much. No, I started pulling the Britishisms. A banger.
Next, you say it's going to be a cracker.
A cracker.
Yeah, they
does that mean the same thing there as here?
Yeah, we say that's a cracker of a something.
A cracker is a
really
good term for white people in America.
Yeah. Well, yeah, over in Britain in breakfast, they usually take a banger in the mouth. You ever hear that term?
No.
That
sounds weird.
Every male in my family, their nickname is Bangers, except mine.
What?
Oh, because Bancroft.
Yeah.
Bangers.
Wait, so why aren't you Banger?
Yeah, why aren't you Banger?
I don't know. No one ever called me that. So, and it's my dad. It's my brothers. It's not me.
Probably because you were wearing rollerblades.
Maybe. I was
Yeah.
Stabber McGee.
You were
And then I was
Stabber.
yeah, and then I was Shuffle-Up-a-Guess, or just Shuffle for the longest time.
Because
So I
the
was either
card.
Stabber or Shuffle.
Because the
Why?
Or
poker.
Shuff. Yeah.
That's cool. I
Oh,
like that.
interesting. That's funny. What, Phil? Does your family have any funny nicknames for you?
No, not at all. Yeah, that's
Oh,
kind of
that's
sad. Huh?
special.
Now I feel
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, we'll make one up for you. So you're not left out.
We do have another super chat for Down Go Solo. Thanks for the $10, bro. Would you consider showing your scripts for future books? Love your panel layouts. Curious how they show up in prose. Who's that for? I mean, I assume that's for Irene, no?
Oh, if it's for me, I don't write scripts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remedy this because every colorist I worked with has hated me for not having a fucking script. And it's like, I'll have a meeting with them and I'll write. I've started writing. At first, I didn't even have this. And that's just one of those things where transitioning from working yourself or working as a writer or as an artist, working for a writer with an editor like you would when you're working for Marvel or DC is totally different when I'm managing my own book. So I don't write scripts. I write a summary, and my thumbnails are my scripts. And essentially, I give the thumbnail with some notes to my colorist, but I realize I've gone further. I've done like thumbnails, but with the text, so the dialogue is already in the thumbnails, even at a rough stage. So I letter super early, and then I have like colored text describing. So like I'm thinking this takes place during sunset, trying to make it a cold scene. This is how the characters is feeling, but don't make it like too sad, just a little melancholy. All those things, colorists do need those direction. It helps them because they're not psychic. They don't know exactly what I'm going for, how I see it in my head. But the reason I do that is because I'm just a visual thinker. I need to see the story very early on, but I could show the thumbnails if that's something people are interested in. I just don't think it's interesting.
I mean, a lot of you see guys like Mark Polton does like sells the script as like in a companion piece, or Tucci will do like his rough layout book and stuff like that. I think Lepresti does something similar. So I mean, the market is there for that kind of stuff. Just for like me, I feel like that should come like later down the line with the content, because it's just more printing cost, and if you're going to put it all in one book, I think that would be cool, like for collectors later on in the future. It'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe an ash can or stretch goals, something like that.
He also says, how do your scripts look working with an inker? Demand an answer, Phil.
Huh?
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't understand that.
How did you work with Michael? Like, what was the information you gave him to illustrate this stuff? Or
I can show you guys. Yeah, I can show you
up?
guys. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna take a while to find this. Read some more super chats first.
While you're looking at that, Bancroft, you have a website that we could talk about. thelucentcomic.com.
That's my website.
And you're the
you want me to talk about
creator of the Lucent comic?
I am.
It's about women falling.
It is. We were talking about themes earlier.
Yeah, theme.
Or, I don't know if is that a theme?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I would say the theme of this would be like fall of the matriarch. You know?
No, that's not
like a female falling.
But I do make her fall a lot. That's more symbology, I would say, because it is based on real, actual dreams that I had, and then crafted a crazy, strange narrative from over many a year. I'm currently drawing the final pages for Painted Death. I'm on the 4th or so, last page that I need to draw for the book. Big, epic. It's almost an action scene. And if you've read The Lucent, you know that's like, you're like, what? because
That's
it isn't your regular American comic. It is much more a cerebral affair.
Well, that's
about
exciting.
questioning about reality and dreams and mortality and authority and all that sort of fun stuff that we're all very interested in.
I like your site. I've been looking at it a lot, like your little progress meters. And
Yeah, if you hover on them, you can click on them. Look, go say hover over them, and you can even click on them and they expand out.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So click. Look at that.
I clicked.
Look at that.
You have to show me how to do that. That's cool.
Yeah. So whenever I do a new page, I go in there and I add it on. So
that's tight. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. So everybody check out the lucentcomics.com. You guys know what it's about. Do you have your thing?
Down Go Solo asks, do you have angles in your script? Yeah, I don't mind showing you. I don't do a script for this book, but I do a script for Fractured Mind. So let me show that.
Fractured Mind's awesome.
That's the book that Rod Looper is drawing for me. It's my Fiendish 2.5, same sort of thing. All right, how do I share this?
Yeah, that book looks really great.
Yeah,
what a great idea. Great minds think alike.
They do. So yeah, this is pretty much what I do. I'm like, so okay, close up of her face, hair is a mess hanging in front of her, she's raging, overhead wide shot. And if Rod doesn't think this is what needs to be there, he'll just change it and he'll say, I had a better idea, or like, you had too many panels on this page, I moved the last panel over to the next page. Because he understands comics. I don't want him messing with the beats too much. He's like, no, this actually works better on the next page, at least with the way he's going to draw it. So some of the times, if it doesn't bother me what kind of thing it is, I won't write how it should be framed or anything like that. But if it doesn't, sometimes I'll throw in, like, here we go. Like I say, I want something like this.
Yeah. A little reference
in the book
idea.
I've shown off a bunch of these. Okay, so there's a character, and I said I want him to look like Bricktop, but obviously not Bricktop. And if you've seen those pages on the campaign, he really nailed it. And just like people like that, or he wants to see some vicious dogs. They have to be like looking like they're about to rip your throat out. So I just show him stuff like that. Buildings, I want someone jumping. These are the kinds of poses I'm looking for. And he does these great panels where he has multiple instances, like they used to do in Daredevil, how he'd like be jumping down a building. Sure. He's great at that. I've never done anything like that before. But other than that, it's, Ella lands on a rooftop, rolling out of it, continuing to run. So it's all just really pretty vague. I don't do the whole thumbnailing thing. I thought about that, but then I thought, no, I need to kind of let go a little bit and let the artists be the artist.
Do the art.
So,
arting.
Yeah.
Ooh,
everyone's seen the first page
yeah.
of Fractured Mind, and I said, yeah, I want a shot of them arching back, and I found this shot of a diver.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's how, and this is, I've never done this before because I don't need to script for my own stuff. When I lay out, I lay it out in InDesign, and then I write like that. And I'm like, okay, this is where, okay, how many panels do I need? And what sort of panel shape do you think it's going to be? And, I don't actually have a script like that because it's for me.
That's awesome to see. Here he is. Narwhal.
Hey, I've been here for about 2 hours. That was fascinating stuff, though. Good discussion.
Yeah, you were.
What did you mean with your tweet?
I don't think he saw the tweet.
The one about get rid of all your setups?
Oh, that's funny.
We talked about that tonight.
Yeah. I don't even know if I fully agree with that, but I'll tell you my favorite feeling.
Why did you tweet it?
My favorite feeling in storytelling is when you didn't. What is it? You say like, I had no idea that was going to happen, but it makes perfect sense in hindsight. And the only way to do that is you can't actually have a setup. But there's like rare times where that really works. I'll have to think of an example. I'll get back to you. But
No,
Interesting.
I think
Just
the
as I
setup needs to
thought.
be there, but it can't be obvious. You can't just make it like, look, I'm handing this to you, audience. It has to be like real subtle.
yeah, it's provocative. That's what I'm saying. I'm just here to
Yeah.
provoke.
Let's bring this up. So here's oh, cool. This is cool. Oh, you did the layouts?
Yeah. So this is
I
what I
forgot
gave
about them.
Michael, and
That's
I
right.
was worried this was too micromanaging, and I did ask him. I hope you're comfortable with this, because I'm like, I know this is very micromanaging, but I first established with him, are you okay with me doing the layouts? And to be clear, I was okay with him changing everything, but like I said, I do this because I think visually, and I need to do the layouts to figure out the story. But he had freedom to change anything, and he did change a few things, and I think for the better. But yeah, this is essentially what I gave him. The red are the notes. The black is obviously dialogue. And I'm just going to show the first couple pages, but I can show you like what I've given Jake, and you can see Michael's ink. So this is what Jake is getting with another set of notes for the colors. So now I'm adding more notes for how I'm thinking about it being colored, and now with Michael's inks, so you can see all the details and all that.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how we worked on.
I think
That's
I
how
think
2.5
that is. I imagine that would be pretty standard. What kind of tone you're going for, a mood in a scene.
Yeah.
The other thing, you're basically drawing it, which
Oh,
is
the
which is
other one,
cool.
yeah.
To me, I would just be like, oh, I don't have time to draw another book. But I
mean,
think as an artist, he would probably appreciate that. It's like, all right, well, I just have to, you know, do the drawing. I don't have to think too much. It's just I got to do the work.
Sure. Yeah,
He
you're
probably would
doing a lot of
appreciate
this.
that.
You're doing most of the storytelling, I would say.
I want to do the storytelling, and I think it comes from manga. So in manga, usually manga, I think the vast majority of manga is one creator. But if there's a writer and an artist, I think the tradition in the manga industry is for the writer to do the layouts, and then the artist takes the shitty layouts from the writer and draws over it. So I think coming from that tradition, that's just how I work. And I just don't want anyone that I work with to be like, oh, like they feel insulted. It's not that I don't trust you as an artist. It's just this is like when I do this, it's a suggestion. And what's funny is people say this looks really finished. It's not. I drew these super tiny. I just draw very detailed drawings. I swear these are just thumbnails. But yeah, no.
I think
I'm like you as well. I think the story visually, and when I try and write that down, and what Rod sends back is usually completely different. And I've just had to come to terms with that and actually embrace that, even though it's pretty weird, because but then eventually I sort of forget what I was thinking originally, and then I just, what he gives me is kind of gets morphs into what I know of the story.
Some artists, they appreciate an opportunity to turn that part of their brain off where all they got to do is render and make it look nice. They don't have to worry about like the storytelling aspects as much. I know a lot. Like I almost would like that for a project. I'd be like, oh, you tell me I don't have to lay it out. That's cool.
Yeah, sure.
I love doing layouts. It's like probably, even though I love every step of the comic process, probably just when you get to like the penciling and the inking, there are parts of it that are just, I just need to get through this because the story needs to be told, because I'm doing the whole thing, like layouts all the way to inks. But layouts are like exciting. You're figuring out the story, and it's all the puzzle pieces are
like a
clicking
puzzle
together. And yeah, and it's like, I imagine it's like when you're writing prose. Like I write like a summary, but it's like bad prose. I'm not trying to make it flowery, but I imagine it's like a prose writer when you're putting in all the details and things are snapping and clicking and it's just coming together. I like doing this. Like this is honestly the bones of a comic, because it doesn't matter how good the art is. Like the quality of the art, like it matters, as in the art of a comic is like the dressing, it's like the skin, it's the makeup. It'll grab the reader's attention and certainly helps, but the survivability depends on this. The comic should be good in the layout stage.
Mhm.
Guys, I gotta go. I will see you later.
Okay.
Okay,
See you,
bye.
You
Michael.
made it into the meme, Bancroft. Just know that.
Oh, look at me. I'm in.
It says
I've made
Irene
it.
is special.
You shall not troll. I thought of an example
Good
real
stuff.
fast of the
All right.
setup payoff.
See you
thing.
guys.
Thanks, Bancroft. See ya.
Bye.
See you, Michael.
Bye.
In Pulp Fiction, which is already a kind of crazy example, but Butch, who's the actor that plays Butch? The guy from Die Hard. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Bruce Willis. He goes back for his watch into his apartment. He sneaks in. It's super tense because you're like, damn, they're gonna kill him, but he's going back just for his watch. And he goes into the kitchen and he finds a gun on the counter and he grabs it, and then what's it? Is it Vincent? Frickin' what's his name?
John Travolta.
John Travolta comes out of the bathroom and he sees that Butch now has his gun and they stare at each other. And then the toast and the toaster pops up and Butch blows him away. So you, in an earlier draft of that script, you could have had the toast be a setup and you push it down and then it pops up and you're like, oh, I get it. It's like, no. Delete the setup. Like, it's way better if it's just like, and then the fucking toast popped up and then he fucking blew him away. So I don't know.
I could see it both ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like they both have similar impact. I feel maybe a little more exploration to find out which is more impactful.
Yeah. I mean, it's a curious question.
Yeah. I get what you mean by that, though. Yeah. So here's the meme, Alex, the king in the chat. This is great. Talking, if you remember, if you guys have been watching all stream, we've had a good amount of people, like 60 people the whole night. It's how you project. You're talking about sound and voices, specifically Irene's voice and how it breaks speakers sometimes.
We're talking about women's voices. Narwhal. You missed that great discussion.
Yeah, you missed it. I did say, this is a quote. I said it's like a knife in your ear. I did say that.
Yes, thanks for that. It's a weapon and I'll use it. Well, we're talking about how, I guess I do notice this in the West, like American broadcasters and news women, they'll project and talk like this. So today on I-75, and like they always talk with this weird deep voice. But I noticed in Japan and in Asia, they don't really do that, but it's different. You don't use your speaking voice when you're broadcasting, especially in news. But I think if you're talking normally, especially if it's like a lot of information, like an information dump, it can, I don't know what it is. It must be something evolutionary because we did cover this. It was like silly women's voices are extra grating. Oh my god, you guys are horrible. But it's about projection. So if I'm saying I'm not.
You had to be there, Narwhal. You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be there.
Go watch. Go back.
You're saying like, so today on I-75, there is a car crash. That's very annoying, right? But if you project in a different way, like today on I-75 there was a car crash and there are many deaths, you can listen to that forever. There you go.
So yeah, you got the skills then, the orator women skills.
I'm working on it. I'll do all my streams talking like this from now on.
Yeah, it actually changes the animation of your voice slightly, of your face. You like become more like robotic.
You have to act it out as well. It's the whole
both Jake and Narwhal have duct tape on their mouths, but Camel's also tied up, which I appreciate that because he was dissing some Tolkien earlier. Oh, you missed all
That's
that.
Funny.
Yeah,
that's a good troll.
Yeah, but you're coming back next week, Narwhal. You'll be here.
Yeah. And next week I'm hosting, and I got some good stuff planned for you guys. It's X Factor, which is the sum, when the sum is greater than the parts. And so it's like this thing that's unspoken of, and it's hard to figure out what it even is.
Yeah.
So that's things that aren't spoken of are sometimes called esoteric. So it's esoteric writing knowledge we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it passed down over the ages, like whatever, and like There's some stuff I got to save for there's because you guys
Yeah,
won't,
save it.
won't
That
see
sounds super
coming.
interesting.
Mhm.
I'm excited for that. We had a good time with Camel and Bancroft though. A little impromptu
Nice.
chill stream. Talked about some cool creative stuff too. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Go watch the Jack show. You could stay here. We'll send you over there. I actually have it rerouted so all of you chatters in the chat will be sent over there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sub to our channels, and we'll catch you next week on another creative block, guys. We'll see you then.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.